Hey guys, so this is a very sad video just because it's about a girl getting okay, so this girl right here in the green, I'll tell you the stuff right now, but let me just tell you the aspects of it. Okay, so this girl right here is not even dating this guy. She went out with him once. They went bowling one time, and then they met the first time somewhere, and then for their second, not even date, they're just going out. They went to go bowling, and then this is the third time meeting each other. And she went back to the house, and they're having like a little house party. And then of course she slept with him that night, and then he woke up and left, and then that was it. And then he ghosted her. But it won't go throughout the video with that. But I mean, I'm not saying anything, but I mean, this is what guys look. Now I want to take this out of context. It's not coming from my personal view. Now remember, I have four sisters. I have a huge family, so and I have another. I'm not going to tell you all my personal information, but I have brothers too, and several brothers. But I have four sisters, and the thing about this is that my this is what guys will look at. Just because I know when they're dating guys, they bring them to the house. I remember my sister. She would. They're not gonna do it. They're not doing anything like at that because they're at that. So because when we were younger, our parents were there. So it's like we'd go, and then I remember my sister, and I didn't know too much of it because I don't care. Like we're back at the time, I didn't. Whatever they're doing is what they're doing. Like we're not trying to be in each other's love life or nothing. I don't do that. We don't do that to each other. It's like that's weird. Like if you go out with someone and something happens or whatever, that's your thing. We're brothers and sisters. We don't go pry into it. We don't care what you're doing. We don't want to know. But that I did see though, like there was this one time where she did go out with this one guy, and then after she dropped him off, the oh yeah, she went with another guy that came right after there, but she just used him for a ride to meet another guy where she ditched him. So my sister done that. So like three different guys that she used really. So and then they would use guys too, just like for certain things. If they wanted to watch a certain movie or they wanted to use, but it was nothing. And then they could find guys too. I mean, they were they were like 105 pounds, 104. So you know what I'm saying. And they're small, and so anyway, that's what I'm saying. So at this time, it's like guys, I could tell the difference between so like if you look at these two girls, you know what I mean, they're fairly maybe you can't tell because of but they are smaller girls, they're slimmer girls, and they have bodies like Selena Gomez and Katie Holmes and Haley Bieber, and there's other girls, like the Kylie and the Kendall Jenners. You know what I mean? Like they have that type of body. You know what I mean? Like the attractiveness of that, right? And with her, I know you're just seeing her back right now, but if you saw him next to her, which I'll show you, so we'll continue this. So hold on a second. Well, let me go before I continue. Hold on. This is the thing: is that these girls, I mean, they I guess because of the experience, maybe they can get guys. I mean, it's just different. If you know how to play the game, you can get guys and never have to do anything, and they're just over here chasing you. Like there's this other girl in here, and she's not in here, and she's like them too, their size, and just because of the way she looks, like they do, and the way they look, they for a guy, they know how it is because they get the same every time they meet a guy. It doesn't matter where you're at the gas station, at a bar, at a store, anywhere they see you. It's almost the same trip play, right? But they base it off on what it is they're going to do, where they're going to go. But it's always about how you look, right? Because if they're not attracted to you, or they don't have any kind of real, you know who you are, like a kindness feeling, or if you're cool or whatever, that's how it works. If you're not a friend of anybody, they're not gonna really take you serious, because it's the game, dude. They're playing the game. It doesn't matter if you ask them out, because the next time they go out, they're gonna get asked out again, because everywhere they go, these girls get asked out. At Walmart one time, I saw a couple years back. I saw at Walmart, and she looked a certain way, and she's full, you know, she had her boobs and her butt. She had a full, you know what I mean, and she's small too, and so like she's tiny waist and all that. And anyway, you could tell like she's different from the other people that were. You could tell she's like a hot mama, you know what I mean. And I remember this guy, because we were in the same aisle, I'm in the same row, and this guy came, and he was like, "Oh, excuse me," and I heard him because I'm in the same, but I'm away because I got my back turned away. So it's weird, because if they don't see your face, for some reason they don't really see you, and I don't know these people, I'm just at the store, and then the guy's like, "Oh, do you know where this is at, this and that?" And then she's all like, and then he's like, "Oh," and then of course she said, "Oh no, I'm just here shopping, whatever." And then he's all like, "Oh, well, I was wondering if I could get your number, this and that, if you're here by yourself," trying to find out information first, like, "Oh, are you here by yourself, this and that?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm married and my husband's right there." And her husband was coming, and of course they had like 2 or 3 kids, and her husband was coming down the other aisle, like from across the row, you know what I mean? But he didn't know what they were talking about. He wasn't really paying attention because he has the kids, so they're just walking. She's like, "Oh no, here he is coming." And then I was like, and then of course I turned my back, and I was like, because I'm hearing all this, right? So I turn my back and I look at her hand, of course, to see, and she has her wedding ring on, and I look at, and of course I'm just shopping there, but and I'm just hearing a little bit, and of course he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry, thank you," and he leaves, like runs out of there, basically, like just boom, he's gone before he even gets there. He finally gets there, and nothing really happens, and then they get together, and they're like, "Oh, did you find this, that?" And then that was it. But I was like, bro, like if you look a certain way, you already know the game. Like there's nothing, unless you're impressed, unless you have money. Like if you're rich, if you're someone that's really rich, and they can tell just by the car, or if a vehicle you drive, or the house you have, or they know somebody, friends of you, and they know how much you have, or the guy usually tells them how much they have, or they can tell by the Rolex, the Cartier watch, the Rolex, whatever it is, they can tell, who has money or not, right? And of course, you can get girls easy like that. That's just like, that's an easy one-timer right there, easy. Now for this girl, I just feel sorry for her, because of, obviously, as soon as they did that, he just ghosted her. He never talked to her again. And for the experience of these girls have a backup plan, where when they meet when they have someone come up to them and ask them out, you got to understand that these girls get asked out weekly, daily. They're getting asked out all the time, places, whenever they're alone, whenever they're, and just in those places, they always, my sister, she once got asked out by the pizza delivery guy. And it's ridiculous, So it just depends on how cute, if they think you're attractive, yeah, they will. But if you're not, they won't. And for this guy, at her, at this photo you can't tell, but the real reason is because she's about, in this photo you can't tell. Remember, she's up closer, they're farther back, she's smaller, she's shorter. But if she was next to them, you would be able to tell the way she looks. I'm not saying this personally, so I want people to don't ask me. I'm doing this because of the research that I've done and the sisters that I have. The way you look, this guy knows that you don't go out that much, and that you don't have that many options, and you don't, unless you're gonna give something up, then you will. but and then he knows it. She does it, and he leaves.